Had some questions on the new goal setting additions to the digital planner this year for the mid-year. And so I wanted to give you a quick tour and show you a goal that I recently set up in my planner and how I'm using those new pages. So just as a reminder, the foundation of my planner is goal setting and helping you clarify and achieve your biggest goals. So you're still going to start with the goal clarity roadmap. This takes you through a series of guided templates and prompts to take you from reflection, understanding where you are now, what your future vision is, gaining some focus, really taking control of your time, taking things off your plate that maybe are a waste of your time, and setting some structure with routines and an overall design for your week. And all of that, all of the work in those templates that I guide you through will get you to the place where you're ready to set your goals. As a reminder, when you're thinking about goals, you want to make sure that they're really specific, actionable, measurable, the SMART goal setting that we always talk about. You also want to make sure that you can achieve them in about 90 days. The reason for this is that 90 days is often the sweet spot of allowing you to feel like you've really achieved something, but still make it manageable enough that you don't get lost in time or tasks, and that you're giving yourself an ability to adjust as you go. Now, you'll also be able to break every goal down into 2 categories of milestones or actions, and those are, number 1, progress goals. Now, progress goals are small actions that you can take and plan into your weeks and days. It's kind of like the sequential steps that it takes to achieve the goal that you set. Now, habit goals are repeating the same action or steps on a repeated basis, like daily or weekly. So an example of that would be if my largest goal is to run a marathon. My progress goals might be things like joining a running group, buying running shoes. My habit goals would be running, perhaps daily, strength training a few days a week. Those would be the things that I have to habitually do. So we think about breaking our goals down in this way to allow us to really make them actionable so that we know, okay, my habit goals are going to have to be planned in very, frequently and regularly in my weekly and daily planning, whereas my progress goals can just be designated as my priorities for a specific week or day. So let me bring that to life just a little bit. This goal that I added in here is for, unfortunately, a real life project I have going on, a kitchen renovation. And I thought it'd be a great way to show you how I'm using the pages because it is a more complex goal. So I've gone ahead and used some of those new bonus planning pages that we have. So if you've used my planners before, you'll recognize this page. This is your basic goal planning page. Here we clarify what our goal is. I remind you of SMART goal setting and how to make sure that the goal is really being planned as an actionable goal. And then you're able to break it down into your milestones, which are those progress goals I mentioned. These are the specific steps that need to be taken. And then you can also add in any habit goals. And again, these are things that I need to find time to designate to on a regular basis. Now, what I also walk you through on this goal setting page is making sure that you have the right alignment and support and motivation. So first we think about what achieving this goal will do for you in your life. We think about any support or accountability you'll need, and then how you'll celebrate achieving the goal, how you're going to stay motivated as you go. Now, let's get into these extra pages that are now new in the planner. Again, these I would encourage you to use when they're relevant and helpful to your goal, and go ahead and just ignore them if you have a more simplistic goal where the goal plan is all you need. So an example of the Gantt view is this is really a traditional project management view that you're going to want to use if each of your milestones have a series of actions that are time bound, and perhaps you also need to make sure that some are dependent on others, so you need to make sure that you're getting everything done in time. So again, in a kitchen remodel, I have a lot of that with things being dependent on others. And so I really like this view. I was able to take the things from the page before, like my milestones, list them out, and then break those down into smaller actions. I use some color coding here to see who is doing what. And as I go, if I need to adjust things, I can move it around and again, visually see where it is in time in the span of the project. Now, the other page that I also set up for this, just as an example, but this is a more simplistic view that if you feel like the Gantt view is maybe a little too much, you don't have that many actions, the Kanban view can be a really fun way to visualize all of the steps and your progress. And I personally find it really gratifying because it's more interactive. So what I've done here is I've placed these labels on the page. Now, these come with the sticker set included with your planner. I placed these labels on and added the task and the date. And what you can see here is that I've used color coding based on who was an owner of the task. And your 3 lanes are planned, in progress, and completed. And so what I'm doing here is these are each individual cards. And so I can manage where I am in the process through these cards. And so, for example, once I'm done hanging my shelves, I'll just grab this and I can move it to completed. And then same with this, I can move this when it's in progress. So I'm really enjoying this view just because I like that interactive feature. It's a nice way to kind of stay motivated. And I'm going to be creating some more in-depth labels that you can use on this page as well. If you do a lot of task management, keep your eyes out for those. So that's a quick tour of those new pages. And just as a reminder, if you're newer to using goal setting in my planners, you're going to be able to take what you plan out in your goals and translate it to your weekly and daily planning. And I'll give you a quick overview of how that can work more practically. So let's jump back here to the goal that we were just working on, finishing your kitchen renovation. So we can set this goal, we can plan it out and feel really focused in the moment, but what always ends up happening? Well, just day-to-day life comes into play, and what you thought you could get done by specific target dates is suddenly falling by the wayside because other things come up. I think we can all relate to this experience. So really where the rubber hits the road in achieving your big goals is making sure that you have that weekly and monthly planning process to really reflect back. So I'm going to show you just some examples of how this planner will help you do that. Number 1, on your months, you're going to take some time to really step back and reflect and plan. So when we're talking about reflection, we're going through a general how I'm feeling about things. In this case, this is actually my business planner. So you can see there are a lot of things we're reflecting on. We're going through personal and business. It's a little bit more simple in the basic goal planner. But then we're also going through and we're thinking about if there are any goals that you're struggling to make progress on, because you might actually have to kind of re-engineer or rethink those goals. And then what you're also doing with your month is really creating some focus. So the structure of these pages is making sure that you're really clear on the goals that you're committing to and that you're proactively reworking anything that you're having trouble making progress on. So then when we make it down to our weeks, we get a little bit more detailed. Now, this is your weekly focus, and this takes you through reflecting on your past week and getting really clear on the goal milestones that you are going to focus on. So you can see here you have a place for each of the goal milestones you're committing to, and then the actions below them that you need to take. So let's jump back so that you can see where this is coming from. We have our milestones here. So I'm going to say, okay, this week I'm going to, install the new drawers, and I just can grab that here. I could actually just lasso and grab this here. And then when I go down to my week, and that focus page, that can be the goal milestone that I'm focused on for this week. And then what I would do is I would break that milestone into individual actions, and those actions would then be translated to my daily pages. So I would go ahead and take each of those actions and make sure that they're showing up as a top priority in my daily pages. And so I can start out my week understanding both what my overall focus for the week is, the specific milestones that I want to get done, and I also know the specific days that I'm going to take action to get those milestones completed. So again, I do this on my anchor day on Sundays. I try to start my week having that focus page all filled out along with a priority, 1 to 3 priorities for every single day of my week. And this practice alone has made all of the difference for me in being able to prioritize and make progress on my goals. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you can envision how you could use these goal setting pages to really propel yourself forward on your biggest goals and make those a reality through a consistent planning practice.